Number 10. Alright, horror hipsters, buckle up. This one's for you. Ghoul is a found footage flick loosely based on the real-life crimes of Andrei Chikatilo, also known as the Butcher of Rostov. Murdered and mutilated over 50 people in the Soviet Union. Fun bedtime material, right? Well, in the movie, a documentary crew travels to rural Ukraine to investigate a supposed case of cannibalism. Standard horror setup, except things get really weird really fast. Locals start acting a little bit strange, rituals are performed, and then the crew realizes this isn't a documentary anymore. It's bait for something evil. The vibes? Pure Eastern European doomcore. It's damp. It's grimy. You can practically smell the mold on the walls. However, what Ghoul nails is that creeping sense of inescapable dread. Everything feels cursed. The house, the footage, your decision to press play. And just when you think it's all urban legend fluff, the end punches you in the soul. Now, some are going to debate how true it is. In the end, it doesn't matter. Ghoul turns folklore and serial killer horror into something suffocating, supernatural, and real enough to stick with you. The lights are flickering, doors locking, and something is whispering in Russian behind the walls. You're not filming a documentary anymore, my friends. You're filming your own death. Number 9. From the cursed brain of James Wan, Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, also known as the guy who made sleep impossible for an entire generation. Demonic is the ghost-hunting murder mystery you didn't know you needed. It kicks off with an absolute bloodbath. Multiple paranormal investigators found dead in a crumbling off-the-grid house. The cops arrive, everything reeks of a bad idea. And all that's left behind? Shaky footage, terrified whispers, and a house that feels hungry. Now, this movie is gonna unfold like a horror Rubik's Cube. Blend in detective interviews with recovered found footage, and slowly, painfully, the full picture starts to snap into place. Something went wrong. Terribly wrong. And no, it's not just ghosts. There's a twist here that rips the rug out from under you, then pulls the floorboards, and then drops you into the basement. It's atmospheric, it's creepy, and there's one scene involving a child's drawing that low-key messed me up for an entire week. I swear that damn thing blinked at me. This isn't James Wan on his blockbuster budget. This is dirty, low-down, indie, sinister James Wan. And it's gonna slap you in the face. So they went looking for the afterlife and accidentally invited it to stay for dinner. Number 8. Okay, for this one, imagine if Sin City got possessed by Hellraiser and then got drunk at a cult sacrifice. That is Lord of Illusions. This is what happens when a hard-boiled detective movie gets hijacked by occult hell magic. Scott Bakula, in full sweaty and confused mode, is just trying to mind his own business when he stumbles into a Las Vegas nightmare full of flesh-warping wizards, mind-melting illusions, and a dead cult leader who doesn't stay that way. Our villain? Nyx. a deaf cult messiah with vibes like Charles Manson got into D&D and black magic. He returns from the dead with one goal: murder the world. Subtle, don't you think? And don't let the film noir vibes fool you. This movie doesn't just flirt with gore, it takes it home and introduces it to your mom. There's a stage illusion death scene in here that's so nasty, even Penn and Teller would throw up in their top hats. Lords of Illusions is stylish, bizarre, and soaked in Barker's signature brand of bloody horror and religious dread. It's not just underrated, it's practically buried treasure for horror nerds. And you know, magic's all fun and games until the illusionist pulls out your spine instead of a rabbit. Number 7. This one's for the slow burn, psychological horror lovers who want their trauma served with a side of, wait, is this even real? They Look Like People doesn't need blood. It doesn't need monsters. It just needs one guy spiraling into paranoia so hard, you'll start looking over your own shoulder halfway through. Wyatt is convinced that the world is being taken over by shape-shifting demons posing as people, and his best friend might be one of them. Or he may not. Or maybe you're the demon. The movie won't tell you, it just lets you stew in the tension until your brain is so freaking scrambled. And here's the thing. This isn't, oh no, I think I saw something spooky in the corner tension. This is, would I kill the person I love to save them tension. The kind that festers in your chest and just stays there. The friendship between the two leads feels so real it hurts, which makes every lingering glance, every pause sentence feel like it's loaded with dread. This film, it's claustrophobic, heartbreaking, and terrifying in a way that doesn't let you off the hook. It asks a question that most horror movies don't have the guts to. What if the monster is your best friend and you have to kill them to be sure? Paranoia is a hell of a drug, and sometimes it's contagious. Number 6. Now we have to go here. This is one of the most gut-punching, boundary-destroying, did they really just do that, horror films on Tubi. Belzebuth. This Mexican demonic horror starts with a scene so brutal, most filmmakers won't even dare write it. And this movie, it opens with it. We are talking mass level trauma right out of the gate. No warm up, just hardcore pain. Detective Ritter, who's basically walking emotional scar tissue at this point, starts uncovering a terrifying pattern. Random people keep going full psycho and murdering kids. Turns out it's all part of a demonic master plan to stop a prophesized child savior from being born. Belzebuth is mean, it's relentless, and it has absolutely no interest in protecting your feelings. It slams you with full-blown possession horror, biblical madness, exorcisms that feel like boss fights, and even Final Destination level chain reaction deaths. This one doesn't push boundaries, it shreds them. Watch it with the lights off and no emotional attachments. And if you make it past the opening scene without audibly gasping, congratulations, you might already be dead inside. Number 5. This is one of those hidden Tubi creep fests that you find. Beezel is a little indie film that feels like a bedtime story told by someone with way too many taxidermy dolls. At first glance, it's your typical haunted house setup. Couple moves in, things go bump, nightmares ensue. But here's the twist. The house isn't haunted. It's guarding something. Something with long, splintered nails. Something whispering your name through the vents. Her name is Beezel, and she's not your broom-riding, cackling stereotype witch. She's rotting, writhing, half alive, and absolutely done being trapped under your floorboards. She doesn't want to kill you. Not yet. First, she wants to bargain. The film builds slow, crawling with dread. Think The Vigil meets The Autopsy of Jane Doe, but with less silence and way more witches. You'll catch flashes of movement, extra faces and old photos, a mirror fogged with breath that isn't yours. And when Beezel finally shows up in full, it's not a reveal, it's a warning. You thought the house was haunted. It wasn't. It was trying to keep her in. Number 4. If Terrifier, House of 1,000 Corpses, and a gas station burrito had a baby, it would be Circus of the Dead. A film that makes even seasoned horror freaks go, yo, is this legal? We're talking grindhouse, Texas shot, ultra sleaze chaos, starring the most messed up clown villain you've never heard of, Papa Corn. Picture the Joker if he smoked meth with Pennywise and decided to ruin your life for funsies. The story? I guess it matters. A random dude gets kidnapped by this gang of clown psychos and is forced into a twisted game to earn his freedom. By game, we mean murder, torture, humiliation, and moral collapse. Like Saw, but with more face paint and nihilism. Papa Corn, played by Bill Oberst Jr., steals every scene, and I don't know what it is that makes this man so freaking terrifying. But he's charismatic, disgusting, funny, and somehow makes every moment feel like a carnival in hell where you're the main attraction. Very similar to Art the Clown from the Terrifier franchise. Now, this isn't a movie with plot armor or safe zones. There's no hero, no mercy, just vibes and violence. And yet, it's shockingly well made. The cinematography is really slick, the editing is manic, and the pacing is relentless. Now, let me give you a warning on this one. I know we're all horror buddies here, but if you are slightly squeamish, this movie will ruin your lunch, and probably your week. These clowns don't do tricks, unless you count psychological warfare and decapitations as tricks. Welcome to the Freak Show. Number 3. You want found footage done right? I got you guys. Hell House LLC is the blueprint. The gold standard, if you will. But why the hell did I watch this at night of haunted house horror? It all starts with a Halloween haunted attraction being built inside an abandoned hotel. Everything seems fine until the footage shows otherwise. Things move on their own, people vanish, and then there's the basement. Oh God, why did there have to be a basement? This film doesn't scream at you. It whispers, and the whisper is somehow scarier. It lures you into a false sense of, it's probably nothing. And then hits you with one of the most iconic clown scenes in modern horror history. Yes, the clown. If you know, you know. If you don't, you will. And then you'll hate clowns even more than you already did. What makes Hell House LLC work is the way it treats fear like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, a misplaced mannequin, a flickering light. By the end, it's an avalanche of nope, nope, nope moments. You know how that is. And just when you think it's over, there are 3 more sequels. Because apparently we love trauma. They were just building a haunted house, guys. But it turns out something was already living there. And it didn't like having guests over. Number 2. You ever watch a horror movie and find yourself yelling, "Run!" at the screen? Yeah, we all have. Hush makes that impossible because the main character can't hear you or anything else. Directed by Mike Flanagan, the Haunted of Hill House and Midnight Mass, Hush is the horror equivalent of holding your breath for 80 minutes straight. Maddie is a deaf author living in the woods because horror movie logic, and one night a masked psycho shows up to play murder games. The twist? She has no idea he's there. The killer walks right behind her and she doesn't even flinch. But what follows is an anxiety-inducing, silence-soaked battle of wills. No screaming, no phone calls, no dramatic violin score, just pure animal survival. Every sound stripped away so you hear your own heartbeat thudding louder than the jump scares. Maddie isn't some helpless final girl either. She's sharp, strategic, and mean when she needs to be. This isn't about strength. It's about sheer will to live, and Hush delivers that with the finesse of a knife across the throat. She can't hear him. You can't warn her, and he's already in the house. Number 1. So imagine The Searchers, if you will, but directed by Satan. Bone Tomahawk starts off like a dusty old western complete with horses, campfires, and good old Kurt Russell rocking a mustache that deserves its own IMDb page. But then it slowly, cruelly mutates into one of the most disturbing horror films ever made. The setup is classic. A woman gets kidnapped, a rescue posse sets off, but these aren't just regular outlaws or bandits. No. These are troglodytes, inbred, prehistoric, bone flute-blowing cannibals who live in desert caves and treat human bodies like snack platters. At first, it's all campfire banter and slow burn tension. You get comfy, you start liking the characters. Big mistake. Because when the troglodytes show up, it's like the movie rips off its mask and says, "Surprise! We're going to psychologically destroy you now." There's one death scene, and if you've seen it, your brain just twitched remembering it. That is so graphic, it caused real-life critics to dry heave. No music, no cutaway, just pure, slow, screaming horror in all its flesh-ripping glory. But here's what makes it worse. Or better, I guess, depending on your view. The horror feels earned. It's primal. It's hopeless. It's your brain is still processing it during the end credits horror. The Wild West was never this wild. And the troglodytes, they don't want your gold. They just want your bones. So, you survived. We made it through 10 of the scariest, most sleeper-hit, brain-melting horror films currently hiding on Tubi in plain sight. And listen, these aren't just good for free streaming movies. They're good, period. They earn their blood. Whether you're a found footage fiend, a creature feature connoisseur, or just like watching awful things to happen to people from the safety of your couch, I'm just saying, this list is for you. And let's be honest, we're all just horror weirdos trying to find something that'll mess us up in just the right way. Which one of these freaked you out the most? Which movies should have made the list but didn't? Because I know there's a lot of weird stuff on Tubi. Hit the comments like you're escaping a haunted basement, fast and panicked. Let's build a horror community that lives for deep cuts, weird flicks, and suffering together in the best possible way. And one last thing, only 0.4% of you beautiful unhinged horror goblins are subscribed. That means if you're still watching, you're one of us now. So come on, hit the button. We've got so much more terror to explore together. Until next time, this is Jeff, and I'll see you.